There are many drug addicted and mentally ill homeless people in my city, and it seems to keep getting worse. How do we help people who don't want to be helped? Well, I think you do that by example, fundamentally. There isn't any other way I know of to help people who don't want to be helped. Um, and then I guess I think what you do is you open up, it's the same thing I've said many times, is that you do what you can to make the things around you better, your family better, and then whatever you can manage in your community. If you're interested in the drug addicted and the mentally ill, there are you could volunteer. You could talk to those people and listen, because then you'd find out what the hell their problems are. And then you'd have some sense about how they might be helped, but that's a hard thing. There's no helping from above. Drug addiction and its combination with mental illness, unbelievably complicated problems. There's no simple solutions. So, and it isn't even necessarily obvious that the people that you see who are homeless and drug addicted and mentally ill don't want to be helped, is that sometimes they have problems that are so absolutely overwhelming that they can't be helped in any real sense. Like if they're unmedicated schizophrenic, for example, with a drug problem, that's just a nightmarish. It's a nightmare of insane complexity, because schizophrenia is very, very difficult to deal with, even with medication, because the medication that helps people who are schizophrenic also tends to depress their positive emotion and decrease their motivation. So the medications are generally helpful, and the proper treatment guidelines, if you're schizophrenic, generally are stay with your medication, because despite the negative consequences of the medication, which aren't trivial, the consequences of not taking it are worse. And that's a real Hobson's choice, right? It's a bit of hell in both directions. But if you really want to know, I would say go have some contact with those people and listen to them and learn what the problems are. And maybe you could start seeing what might be helpful. It's a really complicated problem. And it's different than the problem of helping people who don't want to be helped, because you have to figure out who it is that doesn't want to be helped first. And you don't want to assume that just because someone's homeless that they don't want to be helped. I mean, that doesn't mean that it's easy to figure out how to help them. It's not easy. Helping people is a very difficult business, and it's a very dangerous business too, because you get tangled up in ways that you wouldn't expect. And that can be an occupational hazard, let's put it that way.